going on, guys? I'm Kevin. Welcome back to Cinephellas. And I'm here with another edition of Seven with Kevin, where I catch up with all the movies of the previous year, which is 2025, and I basically go through everything I missed until I make my best and worst list of 2025. I know it's late. Again, I wish I could do this for a living, but I can't. But I want to start off with talking about an actress called Phoebe Dynevor. She is on Bridgerton, and she was in an Ed Sheeran music video, Photograph. Um, yeah, so she is starting to rise up in Hollywood, and I figured my first two movies I would talk about the two projects that she was in 2025. And the first film that she was in was called Anniversary. Before I even talk about this film, let me talk about the cast. We have Phoebe Dynevor, we have Kyle Chandling, Dan Lane, Madeline Brewer, McKenna Grace, Zoe Dutch, and Dylan O'Brien, who I talked about last time, and I praised him in Twinless. In this film, he plays the son of Diane Lane and Kyle Chandler. He brings back Phoebe Dynevor, and I won't go into the connection between um, Dynevor and Diane Lane. I'll kind of give you a surface level of it because the trailer hit it very well, and I don't want to take away the fire that the trailer has because it needs it. So Phoebe Dynevor used to be a student at a university that Diane Lane taught at, and they conflicted on everything because it was a poli sci class. So they bring that trauma and that confrontation into the lives now that, Diane Lane's kid, Dylan O'Brien, is dating Phoebe Dynevor. It creates a riff. And this movie gets pretty crazy. The narrative is very polarizing, especially now what's going on in the world. I don't know how you'll feel about it, but I thought the plot and the proposed narrative of this whole story was a lot better than the execution. It isn't a bad film, but it's just one that has wasted the potential of that cast. And, I'm not going to repeat the cast again, but the cast is insane in this movie. Dynevor does well. She has those very big, expressive, emotive eyes, and she uses it to her advantage in this film. Um, it kind of felt like a TV movie of the week, or at best, this thing should have been streaming because it's a lot of plot they throw at you. They do it under 2 hours, but I feel that it was kind of all crammed up, and a TV series would have been a little better option. With that cast, I think everyone would have watched this. Considering this movie bombed, I think a lot more people would have checked it out if it was a TV streaming show. And I'm gonna give this one 2 out of 5 Diane Lane hairpieces. Okay, so Phoebe is 0 for 1, but I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt, and I'm gonna say the next film that she is in, my number two film today, is Inheritance, and it is a lot better. This one comes from Neil Berger, and Phoebe Dynevor plays a woman who has an estranged relationship with her father, played by Rhys Ifan from Little Nicky, Notting Hill. He's the big doofy guy. He also played Lizard in The Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield. Great actor. Here he plays a very shady and absentee father. They've never had a relationship, and when he invites her to patch things up, he involves her in a conspiracy, and she's running for her life. This movie is filmed beautifully. It is filmed on an iPhone. It's something that all these directors are doing. They're trying out. Berger films the city of India and the surrounding cities quite well. Specifically, his cinematographer Jackson Hunt. There are scenes in this that the architecture is shown beautifully. There is a really cool motorcycle chase through the crowded streets of India, and I thought it was very well done. And I thought Phoebe Dynevor was good in this movie. She has a lot more depth in this performance than she does in Anniversary. I thought the relationship between Iflon and Dynevor was well done. It is a conflicted, strained relationship between two people who are supposed to have a loving daughter and father relationship, but that is non-existent and has affected their lives, especially hers, very much so. And I really enjoyed this thing. It's a kind of a movie that you may be thrown on in an afternoon, and you're like, "Oh, this is pretty damn good. I'm gonna watch this," and I'm going to recommend this with a rating of 4 out of 5. This is a lot better. Phoebe hair pieces. Okay, so moving away from Phoebe Dynevor, my next project I'm going to talk about, or the next film I'm going to talk about, is A20 from A24, where the cell of the Legend of Ochi was the cute creature featured within the trailers and the marketing. It is not a special effect. It is not computer. It is tangible, that thing. They had puppeteers moving sticks around that they would edit out in post-production and other cool tricks. I love puppetry. It's something that if it's done right, it can really add a lot to a movie. But if it's done wrong, it really makes a movie look shitty. And this movie, it's kind of mundane and boring and cold, like Anniversary was, but you can't deny the power of the puppet. The puppet is really cool. It operates well. He's damn near impossible not to love. But I wasn't really interested in anything outside the cinematography, which is a staple at A24, and this puppet. I kind of felt it was boring. It looked nice. We have William Dafoe, Finn Wolfhard, or Emily Watson, I should say, all trying their best to make this work, but it just comes off kind of like a lame, cheesy, like fairy tale, I'd take it. I wasn't connected to anything in this movie. You know, I just didn't buy into it, but it's not a bad movie, and I'm gonna give this one 2.5 out of 5 Ochi hair pieces. Okay, so number four is a film that you definitely have never ever heard of. And I talk about me watching everything, and here's something that you may have seen the trailer for, because I know the trailer played a lot, but you probably may have seen the trailer. It is called Hot Milk, and what drew me into this movie, this mysterious movie? I'm going to tell you two things that drew me into this was Emma Mackey and Victoria Krebs. Mackey is an actress that is just basically starting to gather some momentum. I loved her interpretation of Emily Bronte, the author of Wuthering Heights, in Emily about 2, 3 years ago. That was a very good performance, by the way. I'm almost done Wuthering Heights. I started the novel after I saw the movie, and the movie is even more shitty in my eyes now. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm going to talk about Hot Milk and also Vicky Creeps, who has been in some Paul Thomas Anderson movies. She was in The Phantom Thread, and recently she was the female Nazi that Ed Gein basically immortalized and obsessed about, and had a conversation through the radio in that one episode in Monster the Ed Gein story. Two really good actresses that I enjoy their work. And again, this is just a typical younger girl, older woman love story. It's basic, it's fine. We have the setup of Emma Mackey. She's taking care of her mother. She's lonely, she's frustrated, and she meets the more experienced Vicky Creeps and Creps, Creeps, Creps. I'm gonna say Creps. I think it sounds better, but if you're gonna do something like this, make it interesting. We're past the point where, having a lesbian relationship on film is controversial. You got to build something else more than that. And unfortunately, I really never connected to anything. This felt more like cold milk than hot milk. If you gotta have hot milk in the title, like you gotta sell it, and this movie doesn't. Not a bad movie. Nice to look at. I really liked the cinematography here, but overall, I'm just gonna give this one 2.5 out of 5 cold milk hair pieces. My next one stars June Squibb. I love June Squibb. I think she is a fantastic older actress. She was nominated for an Academy Award in 2013 for Nebraska, where she played a character who's so vile, acid-tongued, but such a draw. I personally thought that she should have won that year, but no one was taking away from the Plito Nyong'o for 12 Years a Slave. But every director who works with June Squibb gets to use that acid tongue, that sense of humor. And here, Scarlett Johansson directs this movie. Yes, Scarlett Johansson, the Scarlett Johansson. And the movie is about the Jewish faith, the Jewish people, being a New York City Jew. And Scarlett Johansson has said that she is a proud New York City Jew. And I was eager to see what she was going to bring to this. Squibb is very good, but I want to basically shout out a actress who plays June Squibb's friend. The actress is Rita Zohar. And Zohar sells how horrifying the Holocaust was through her speeches, through her monologues, and giving us a peek into her life when she was growing up during that terrible, terrible time. Zohar basically knocks it out of the park. I got very touched at one point watching this film. I'm like, this woman has survived everything, and it's just really unfortunate where she came from. But survived and she's lived a good life. And the film, I'm not going to really spoil this one either. As I said, it deals with a lot of Jewish identity, and Squibb is playing Tongue though, but she's also doing a little side of vulnerable too. If you're a fan of Scarlett Johansson, check this one out. It is a good movie. It makes me eager to see what else Scarlett Johansson can do because she understands character, she understands development, good writing, good directing, and the good performances that she gets out of Squibb. And once again, Rita Zohar, who is fantastic in this movie. I'm going to give this one 3 out of 5. Support Scarlet hairpieces. Number 6 is something I've been wanting to talk to you guys about for a while. It is called Megadoc, and it is about the making of Megalopolis, which came out almost 2 years ago, come September. Francis Ford Coppola dreamt of doing that for 40 years, for putting out that project. And yes, the project wasn't that good. I think I gave it 2 out of 5 hair pieces. I admire the ambition, but the execution was god awful. There was a lot wrong with that movie, and if you are a fan of not only that movie or have an interest in the story of this movie, but you are also a fan of Francis Ford Coppola, I highly recommend that you check this one out. This documentary dives not into only into the production of the film, but also who Francis Ford Coppola is as an artist and how when he was coming up in his studio system, when he was getting famous, it was a lot easier, as he states, and you see many times. There is this instance, I don't know what scene it was because we're off camera. I mean, we're off the sets with the um, we see Francis Ford Coppola sitting there, and he suggests a simple costume change for a one of the stars in the project. And this decision takes 30 minutes because 4 or 5 different people have to be notified about that, versus how, you know, Coppola describes the old filmmaking style that, it was small, it was intimate, we were all taking chances. Yeah, that's one really cool thing about this documentary I really liked. As many geniuses, he is erratic and he is unpredictable. He flip flops sometimes on his views, but he is consistent in the passion that he has for filmmaking. And Shia LaBeouf, who was in Megalopolis, is in this movie, and I think he is the closest thing to an antagonist that this documentary can maybe pin on. Him and Coppola do not work well together. They constantly butt heads. Yes, Shia is a pain in the ass, but also Coppola is a pain in the ass. But if you want to measure who is bigger pain in the ass, definitely Shia LaBeouf. If you want to see Shia in his glory, his stubbornness, his erraticness, and overall, I feel like he has ADHD. He's all over the place. If you want to see it, watch this movie. But I really dug this film. I really dug everything it stood for. I dug everything behind the scenes and the way the actors work together and just the whole process of making a film. And I'm gonna give this one 4.5 out of 5 Francis Ford Coppola hair pieces. And finally, my number 7 pick is Sorry Baby. During the past Golden Globes this year, we had Julia Roberts coming out on stage, and she was presenting, I think, some award, maybe best musical comedy, but it doesn't matter. The what matters is she looked right into the actress's eyes, Eva Victor, who also starred in this, directed this, and wrote this. And she said, everyone, you have to see this film. She is brilliant in it, and she is a great writer, a great director, and a great actress. And I have to agree with Julia Roberts. This movie is awesome. I wasn't expecting this to be as good as it was. I love. That's why I do these lists. Every so often, I see a film that just blew me away that I probably never would have watched on my own. But since it was on the list, I saw it. The film takes a subject. I'm not going to spoil what it is, or an experience that unfortunately some women go through, and it mixes comedy and drama very well. I feel that with most movies that try to walk the balance between the two, the humor derails the drama of the story, and or the drama becomes too serious for the laughs to hit. Eva Victor has written a screenplay that is so goddamn good. She knows how to direct her actors. She knows how to make all this work. And there is, this isn't an easy test, but she is such a confident performer and creator that it goes out of these moments of trauma and trouble and goes to the comedy, but then goes back. It's seamless. It's really one hell of a thing to see. Um, As an actress, she is lovable. She masks negativity with humor and charm. But behind but behind that, you can see how hurt she is. And, when you see the movie, and I definitely want you to watch this one, I'm recommending it, you will see how good this is. And I really love this film. I tip my hat to Eva Victor, and I really hope they give her another project to work on and she has another script. I am totally um, aligned with her way of making films. And I'm going to give this one a 5 out of 5 hair pieces. Okay, so that does it for me for this episode. Remember, these are my thoughts. I want to hear what you think. Come to Cinephellas.com, come to Facebook, come to Instagram or X. Let me know. Maybe you thought Sorry Baby was hogwash, or maybe you thought that Inheritance and Anniversary were incredible films. Like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you thought Megadog was boring as hell. I don't know unless you tell me. Come to the website. We're always reviewing the latest in TV, movies, and video games. And next time I'll be talking about Project Hail Mary. I did see it. I know Logan and Henry did a review, but it's a awesome movie. I'll go into it, next time, but and I also want to do a one off the list. It is a movie that stars Elizabeth Olsen and Alicia Vikander and Hamish Patel. If you know what it is, get ready because I'm going to talk about it next time. If not, tune in to find out what it is. And as we always say, I'm Kevin, and cheers.